Hey, what's going on, family? How y'all feeling? Hey, can I show you something real quick? All right. Well, we out here to tell our people that we the Israelites, man. That's our true heritage, right? And God loves the Israelites, right? Now, as the brother Jeremiah was bringing out very powerfully, man, we've come a long way, right? The Israelites have the greatest come-up story in the history of all history, man. World history, right? We're the most downtrodden people. We've been lied to our entire lives, right? From grade school on up. Even in the workplace, man, we've been lied to about who we are, right? From being called black and African American, right? From being called Hispanic and Mexican, right? From being called Native American, right? That's not a heritage or a nationality. Hey, what's going on, Kings? Can I talk to y'all real quick?
1 minute.
1 minute. That's all it's gonna take. You got 60 seconds for your brother. All praise to the Most High. What's going on, King? What's your name?
How you doing, man?
Right? We had to tell our people that we're the Israelites, right? Now, when you look, I'm gonna ask you this, right? You believe in God? You believe in the Bible? Cool, we on the same page. So when you look throughout history, when you look into our history, to be more specific, right? We're the one group of people, right, who have gone into slavery, forgot their heritage, came to America, and we still don't know who we are.
That's right.
And on top of that, we're still the bottom of the barrel in a place that we built up.
That's right, huh?
You have this thing called generational wealth that we love to talk about, right? But we don't have any shares of that. We don't get a piece of the pie, and I'm gonna show you why, real quick.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, and verse 4. And thou, even thyself.
Right. Now, this is a book of heritage, right? It's not a book of religion. I'm not a pastor, and I'm not here to convert you to a denomination, right? This is a book of our heritage showing how we went from being the top nation on earth to being the bottom of the barrel. You see what I'm saying? And this is how we got there. Read that again.
And thou, even thyself.
Right now, he's talking to the whole nation of Israel, the whole family, right? Because when you look around, you got to see is that's my uncle right there. This is my cousin, and that's my brother. That's how we see all of our people, whether they black, Hispanic, or Native American. We 12 different tribes composed of one nation, right? So keep going on that. So he's basically the Most High. He's speaking to us as a whole, right?
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage.
Right? We got pulled off the shelves. We got discontinued. We got the production line has halted, right? Meaning that we forgot who we are. And right, if I forget who I am, and I don't know who I am, and I got a random a man from a different race telling me who I am, 20 years down the line, I have kids. Exactly. 40 years down the line, now I have grandkids. Exactly. Right? 50 down the line, 50, 60 years down the line, I'm a great-grandfather or grandfather. Right? My kids, I didn't teach them that they were Israelites. They didn't teach that their kids were Israelites. So what do you think those kids in the next generation are going to believe? They're just going to believe what they hear or what they're told. Not by me, the credible source, right? But by somebody else, right? So the Lord said that we're going to forget who we are. We're going to forget our heritage, our customs, our nationality, right? The things that we used to do, the way we used to treat each other, right? Keep going.
Come, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
That the Lord gave us, right? Because now you look around, right? Look at the culture that we are part of. Right, rap culture that we are part of, right, the get rich quick culture that we are part of, the things that our young men are doing for money, the things that our young women are selling their bodies and doing for money. We didn't come from that. That wasn't our family line, right? Our family crest didn't have a man with 50 gold chains, right, and a stack of money on his arm. You see what I'm saying? Right, we came from a heritage of kings and princesses, right? Keep going. Still today, that bloodline ain't never died, right? The brother get it, man, right?
And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies.
That's the part that gets a lot of people. A lot of our people don't understand that we have enemies in the world, right? Now, an enemy, that doesn't have to be your arch nemesis and they're trying to take over the world for world domination, right? It doesn't always mean this cartoon definition of it, right? Your enemy is basically somebody who's against you, right? You can have an enemy in the workplace, right? And they coming for your position. Even in your own home, you can have your enemies, right? So the Lord said that the Israelites as a nation have a common enemy. And that enemy being the people that put us in the bottom of the barrel. Think for a second, right? And I'm gonna leave you with this. Okay. I was gonna ask you, last thing, where do you see yourself on this sign? Where do you see yourself on this sign right here? If I was to ask you, what is your race? or where you was born, right? And what does your family go back to? What would you say? What is your father? African American. I was just asking because of the accent, right? So you would be an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? That's the tribe that Christ himself came from, right? A Christ of the kings, man. When you go back and read the Bible, that's the tribe of the kings. All praises. So definitely take a fly. We got to believe in the Most High, because when we follow what we want to do, that's how we end up with a false understanding, and that's how we got here in the first place. See what I'm saying? Lance. Right? All praises, King. Right? Look into that flyer, all right? Y'all stay safe out here, man. It's freaks out here, man. Yeah, hey.
I'm so sorry.
New York?
Okay, all praises. Y'all would technically from Israel, right? Jerusalem is our capital city, right? Y'all stay safe, all right?
Y'all be safe, brother.
God. Give me Isaiah 61:1, and then we'll dive into a little lesson. All praise to the Most High, right? Even though it's tons of people that just walk by, the Lord said that there has to be a remnant. It can be weak, and this is a miscommunication between the people that watch at home and us up here. We understand if we don't get any sheep, the job is done. We ain't got no power over that. If 1,000 so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American people walk by through this camera, right, and none of them stop and listen, that's totally okay. Why? Because we did the work. We planted the seed and we gave that warning out there. Our job is to come out here and tell our people what's the deal, what's going on in the earth right now, and what we need to do to get out of here. If nobody wants to hearken, that's fine. If they do hearken, even better. Right? The job is all according to the Most High. Bring that up.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 61 and verse 1.
Bring it up.
The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me.
Salah. What's going on, King? How you feeling? You got 1 minute for me, King? Come chop it up with me real quick. All right, can you do it after this 1 minute? Okay. All right, praise it. Hey, this is going to be quick. I don't like to hold people too long. What's your name, brother? Jaden. My name is Carl, right? Nice to meet you too, King. So we out here to tell our people, first and foremost, I'm asking you a question, right? What's your nationality? Black, African American. All right, cool. Right? So you said 3 different words for one race, right? I'm going to tell you what those things are. Black being a color, right? And don't feel bad, because I did the same thing once upon a time. Black being a color, African being a continent, and America being a country.
That's right.
Right? Now that continent and country is on the other side of the ocean. You see what I'm saying? And that color come out of a crayon box. You see, that's your marker. That's that black jelly bean licorice flavor that nobody eats. Right? So when we call ourselves this, it causes a lot of confusion. Like, dang, you Black African American, I'm Jamaican, he Haitian, but we all look alike. You see what I'm saying? Right? And we all serve the same common God, but he don't look like us. You see what I'm saying? Right? So we come out here to clear the confusion and to tell our people that we're a lot more special than a color, a continent, and a country. Right? Bring that out.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
Now the reason why we got Bibles up here, it may be a common misconception for the common man that's just walking up, right? And I said I would make it fast because I know you got things to do, right? But the reason that we got Bibles up here is to show that this is our heritage written on paper, right? Just how you might have somebody's family records, they could go to the city count, what's it called? The city, I'll say for short, in layman's terms. Right? And they could get a copy of their family records, right? They could get a copy of, okay, I descended from so-and-so. Okay, cool. They could go on Ancestry.com, they 23andMe, spin that little tool, wait a couple weeks, and then they get, a little chart or whatever they get. It might be kind of off, but they could easily just look, I'm from so-and-so. Now, the Bible is our family records, just written in paper, passed down generations, right? And put into the wrong hands, right? Now, what those wrong hands did was they created Christianity, and they used this book to divide our people.
That's
right.
right.
So this book wasn't meant to be, preached in, churches, right, for filthy lucre or for money, right, for the man to come with that usher plate and you give your last 10 because you feel like you're gonna get blessed. Now this is for our heritage, right? So I'm gonna read you this one verse, all right?
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage.
Now, this is one of my favorite verses to bring out because it tells us our history in one verse, right? So we was once the top nation, chosen people on the earth, right? We're known as the Jews, right? The Jews is the so-called southern kingdom,
That's right.
Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? That look like me and you to this day, right? Those would be our forefathers, but they had kids, and those kids had kids. Who do you think we are today, right? If we weren't called Black, African American, Negro, Hispanic, all these different types of words, what would be our real nationality? Nobody ever told us. We would be the Israelites, all right?
Right.
The Lord said that we discontinued from our heritage because we failed to do what He told us to do, right? Let's say you get a shiny new. You like to play video games? What video game station you like? What console you play? Okay, PSP. Cool. Okay, all praise. Right? Let's say you just got a brand new PSP for graduating high school or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Right? Your parents bless you with a brand new PSP. And they said, look, I understand, you did great work in high school. However, right, you got to get a job. You got to, go to college, whoop-de-whoop. You got to do what you got to do to make it on your own out here. And they said, look, I'm going to give you about 6 months, right? And those 6 months come up, and you just playing PSP all day. You're not worried about anything that they say, right? Hypothetically, right? But you're not worried about anything they say. Now that 6 month timer is up, they're like, dang, this dude got to get out of my house. Ain't paid a single bill, right? Been living for free, right? Now what do? They start taking away certain privileges, right? You might lose you might kind of start having to pay for your own food in the house, right? You might kind of have to pay an electric bill, or some utility bill. Then it gets down to the thing you love the most, that PSP. They take away that PSP, you done forgot everything that you done did in the past 6 weeks was for nothing. See what I'm saying? So the Lord says, look, since y'all didn't want to keep my commandments, I have to punish y'all, right? That's the only way y'all are going to learn to do what I tell y'all to do. Is that making sense so far? All praise to the Most High. So the way that He punished us is through curses, right? Now I'm going to ask you this, because a lot of people get this confused, right? Is a curse good or bad? All right, let's say, okay, check this out. If I say your family is going to come down with a sickness that's incurable, is that good or bad? Okay, now check this out. The Bible has a verse similar to that, basically saying that we're going to have sicknesses, right? If I say that your people are going to hate one another, even if they look at each other for a little too long, right, a fight might break out. Is that good or bad? Okay, cool. That's two. I'm going to give you one more. If I say your father's going to leave the household and this is going to be a generational thing and the child is going to grow up without a father each and every generation, is that good or bad? That's bad, right? So those are curses that I named to you that were bad. However, those weren't just examples, right? Those are things that's in the Bible, right? Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, and I'm going to start with 54. Actually, give me 15, right? I know I said I'm going to make it quick. I don't want to get too carried away, right? But I got to show you. You're my brother. I got to put you on. You see what I'm saying? Right? We all come from different walks, but we got to understand the thing that we have in common is our history, right? Is our forefathers. Is where we came from. Because we all ended up here. So that means we was all on a boat at one point in time.
That's
you see what I'm saying? Right? Bring this out.
God, this book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass.
Meaning this is something that's going to happen whether you like it, you hate it, you love it, you believe it or not. This is something that's going to happen down the line.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Meaning if you refuse to do the instructions that was given to you, what's going to happen?
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
If you refuse to do the instructions, right, the things that I tell you to do, cut and dry instructions at that, what's going to happen?
That all these curses,
Right? And I just gave you a few examples, right?
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. So to sum it up, look, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to curse you. Not just you, but you and your people, right? Because he wasn't just speaking to one person. Right, you got to understand the context. He was speaking to us as a nation, which means it was hundreds of thousands of us all being told the same thing, right? Just like it's just you and that brother, right? It's hundreds of us that we relay the message, right? Now jump to verse 54, because everything that I just listed to you actually occurred in the Bible, right?
Verse 54. So the man that is tender among you.
Right, the very tender man, right? That's your brother? Oh, okay, all praises. All praises. What's going on there? Right? So the brother, or the man, right, the common folk, right, that is tender among you, like me and this brother, right? We get along very well, right? But however, there's a curse in the Bible about our people saying, right, read that again.
So the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
Me and this brother be tender and delicate, man. Anything I need, this brother got me, right? And if I got it, this brother got it. You know, that's how we work, right?
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
But now the curse that's on our people, by and large, not saying everybody, right? Because this might not apply to you personally, right? But when you look at our people as a whole, right? Our people, you go to the hood, and our people, you know, it's a kill or be killed.
That's right.
They say it's a dog eat dog world.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So everybody is out, every man for himself, basically, when it comes to our people. Our people aren't tender to each other and very delicate.
That's
you know,
right.
I put my arm around this brother and he didn't know me. But what the hell are you doing,
That's
bro?
right.
Get off, I don't play like that. See what I'm saying? What you got? That's exactly what it is.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
And that's a curse on our people. Right? Keep going on that, King. I'm gonna show you some more.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother,
That's not it though. Keep going.
and toward the wife of his bosom.
Look up the leading statistic in domestic violence. It's the black and Hispanic man.
That's right.
Right? That gotta think about it. Those two people compose a lot of the 12 tribes of Israel, the blacks and the so-called Hispanics, right? And we're the leading people. Now, it wasn't always like this. Don't think that we was just that nation that just want to beat our women all the time, because that's not how it is. And it never should be that way, right? But that's out of our control, right? To see, you know, me as a man, I can't put a stop to domestic violence among black people, right? Because that's a curse that the Most High did, right? The Lord said, I will cause these things to happen. Meaning it's going to be out of our control, right? Keep going on that.
God, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children.
Now we're going to start putting our hands on our children, right? It's going to be a little more severe than a whooping to the you know what, right? It's going to get, you know, a little too hands on, right? Y'all ever seen the movie Precious, right? And the man, he was abusing Precious, right? And her stepdad, I believe, got her pregnant, I believe. Yep, it was her dad, right? He got her pregnant, man. Now these things are happening in our communities. When you got a man, he kind of, you know, raped the woman, right? And these are things that you would very rarely find back in the, you know, the ancient days, right? Keep going. There's a little bit more on that. Something that we was just talking about, right?
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Now the man is going to be known. The so-called black and Hispanic men are going to be known to leave their children, right? So everything that I gave you, you said was a curse, correct? And those things are also written in the Bible, right? We're the #1 leading statistic, and we're ashamed to say it, but it has to be said so that our people can understand, right? We're the #1 leading statistic and leaving our own children, right? So that, you know, because we got baby mama drama, now we don't want to deal with the kids no more, right? We want to cut all ties, right? No strings attached. I ain't got nothing to do with that woman, right? She wanted to have that baby. I just wanted to, you know what? You see what I'm saying? This is the stuff that's going on within our people. And that's not to say that it doesn't happen within other nations, right? Like the so-called white race or the so-called Asian race, Chinese race, right? But by and large, this is a curse amongst the nation of Israel, right? Bring that out, King.
Verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
Right? Among the nations that we're sent to, we're not going to find no rest, right? So these things, it's beyond our control, meaning the Most High is in charge of this. You got to think. A lot of our people, remember when Kanye said slavery was a choice, right? Now, partially he was correct, right? I'm going to say it, you know, into the camera. Partially he was correct, right? Because the Lord said, look, you do good, I bless you. You do bad, you're going to have to pay for that bad, right? Go to verse 16, and then we can go back to that.
Come, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now, a lot of times America likes to deal with symbolism a lot, right? So the Israelites first started off with being slaves in America, right? Then now you have the so-called black men, they became slaves. My bad, I said that wrong. The Israelites started off in Egypt being slaves. Now you find a so-called black man being, he was a slave in America.
Okay,
right now, when you look on the dollar bill on the back, right, on the $1 bill, you have an eagle and you have a pyramid. Now, like I said, America likes to deal with symbolism a lot. You'll find it a lot of times in movies and TV shows, right, symbolically, right? That pyramid representing the Egyptian slavery and the eagle representing American slavery, right? So I'm gonna break this down again.
Come, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Meaning the Israelites are going to have to see hardcore bondage again, just like we did when Moses was like, "Let my people go," and he split the Red Sea. We was getting out of slavery during that time, right? Now we had to go into slavery for another time.
With ships.
Right, but this time we're not gonna go into slavery on feet. We're not gonna go to slavery on plane and helicopter, right? And they got drones and a convoy of tanks, right? Leading the Israelites into captivity. This time we gonna go into slavery on slave ship, and everybody knows they teach that in school. That's how much everybody knows that the so-called black man went into slavery on slave ships, right? So that just goes to show that, again, right, these things are meant to happen because this is the punishment we got to live out. You got to think, we're the strongest people on the nation, on the planet Earth, right? Willpower, spiritually, and physically. We just built like that, right? So when you have easily, right? So when you have a nation of white men and they got their musket guns with the little spear at the bottom, and it's a crew of about 13 to 20 something members, maybe 50 members, and you have a whole gang of Israelites, who do you think should have won that fight? It should have been us.
That's
Easy.
right.
Right, but the Lord said, I will charge these things to happen. I will cause these things to come upon you. Meaning that the power was sucked out of us, and there was nothing we could do. See what I'm saying? I could easily, go toe-to-toe with a so-called white man. We could easily do that, right? But if the Lord said this is going to happen, that's just how it's got to be, right? So the reason why we bring out these curses is to show our people that we are the people of the Bible without a shadow of a doubt, right? But now I'm going to leave it all off with this. I'm asking y'all a question. How do we come out of this position that we're in?
That's a good question, huh?
You say what? Okay, that's a piece of it. That's a good chunk of it.
And a lot of it got to do with psychological abuse that we, passed down.
Definitely, right? That's why we find ourselves in these mega churches, right? It's because psychologically we think that, where's the picture? This man is coming to save us, right? That's a big piece of it. Psychologically, we believe we're in a Christian church, believing that that's that's the only way out of here, right? But it's not, right? The way we get out of it, give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12, because the Most High, He offers solutions as well, right? Deuteronomy 10 and 12, King, right? He's not just going to tell us, look, y'all got a problem, and this is how y'all die. If we're the chosen people, of course He's going to want us to get out of here. Give me Ezekiel 33 and 11. You got it, King? God. And I'm going to let y'all get up out of here. But I just got to let y'all know the reason why, or how we get out of here, right? And a few methods to doing that starting off, right? Ezekiel 33 and 11 first.
And you got to learn to love yourself.
That's true.
You can't love somebody else until you learn to love yourself.
Exactly. But I'm going to also get what love is too, right? All praises.
This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 11.
Bring it out.
Say unto them, as I live.
As the Most High is living, which is forever and ever, right?
Right.
Saith the Lord God, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked.
Right. And that wicked is talking about the wicked Israelites, right? The most, the world is made up of 18 nations, right? If He has a chosen nation and they do wrong, right? You think He's taking pleasure in killing one of our people off because they did something wicked? No. He don't take pleasure. That's like you got your child and your child, hypothetically, right? I ain't trying to say nothing, right? Let's say I'm gonna put it on myself, right? Let's say I got a child, my child grows up to be a school shooter, right? Now, am I gonna go on the news and make an appearance and say, yeah, he was such a good kid, right? That wouldn't be the right thing to do because you got this kid that shot up a bunch of kids in his school, right? And I have the gall to say that my child, he was a very good kid, and I don't understand and this and that. No, that he got to be put on blast, right? The Lord, it does that, puts us on blast to cut out the wickedness out of our nation, right? So he doesn't have death or pleasure in the death of his children. Just as if my kid went to jail, I don't take pleasure in that, but I know it has to happen because that's the only way he gonna learn. You see what I'm saying? All praises.
But that the wicked turn from his way and live.
And we were all wicked, right? All the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Israelites, we were all wicked. That's how we got into this situation, right? The Lord didn't take pleasure in allowing us to get whipped by the so-called white race, to be sold by the so-called African race, right? Bring this out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel.
Now, that's our nation, right? You said Israel. But, if you don't mind me asking, you see yourself on the sign? I didn't ask you, King. Israelite from what tribe would you say?
I say I'm most like Glad.
Gad?
Gang.
Okay, Native American. Okay, that's where your father is? What is your father? So, the way it's broken down, we get numbers 1 and 18.
Yeah, talk about who your father is.
Yeah, exactly, because the man, he carries the seed and things of that sort. So what would your father be, if you know? Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, and a lot of us have to say that. Why? Because that's just the curses. A lot of our fathers, we didn't grow up with them. See what I'm saying? So we just left to assume, right? And it's not a bad thing if you don't know, because you might be from the mighty tribe of Simeon. You know what I'm saying? Right? We just don't know until the Lord make his comeback. You know, and like I said, this is the greatest comeback, up and coming rags to riches story ever told in the history ever. Right? Because we went from that nation that don't know a clue about ourselves, we calling ourselves a color, to now we know that we the chosen kings and princesses of this earth. Right? Don't matter what tribe you're from, you still chosen. That's all that matter at the end of the day. Right? So bring this up.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel.
Right? And now Israel. Since you're from the tribe of Judah, that means you're from the tribe of Judah, because that's your father, right? So he's talking to y'all. It says now Israel, right?
What doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
What does God require of us? Now we see the state that our people in. We know that, you know, the Bible, that might be Black history or whatever. He showed me a few curses or whatever. But now what is required of me, right?
But to fear the Lord thy God.
Right, there's a certain fear you got to have, and understanding that the Most High is capable of doing anything and everything. Right? Whether you find $1 million today and become the next successful Black man for inventing such and such, or you fall and you know something kind of happened to you. You see what I'm saying? You might become the poorest man in America, but you got to understand that was the Most High is doing, right?
To walk in all his ways, to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God.
Right? And to love the Most High God means to keep his commandments, like it says in 1 John 5 and 3, right? So that's the duty of the so-called Israelite man. Whether you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American, we are the same people. And our duty is to keep the commandments, right? That's how we come out of the condition that we in. When we stop shooting our people, when we stop hating our people, right? When we stop telling our women to get abortions, right? When we stop, leaving the mothers as a single parent raising a child by themselves, right? You can't build a nation if you got millions of women raising up men, right? Because those men don't know how to be men, right? So when those men start putting their hands on women, right, and become a B word made, right, then you'll start to see, dang, our nation is continually being destroyed. See what I'm saying? Because we fail to keep the commandments. It's all kind of like the butterfly effect, right? It has an effect on every single thing it touches, right? If a Black man leaves the household and he leaves his children behind, that child could go into completely destroy and tear up the nation, right? But if that Black man so-called leads the household, and that could be the most righteous household in the nation. You see what I'm saying? So that's our duty as Israelites, is to keep the commandments and come back. Right? And I'm going to leave y'all off with 2, right? I got a question for y'all. I'm going to leave y'all off with 2 more commandments. This is it, right? So, y'all ever heard of the 10 commandments, right? I'm sure y'all have, right? Now I'm going to ask y'all this. Do y'all like to eat pork? I know it's kind of out there. I know it's kind of random. It's like, what? Every so often. What about you, King? You like the bacon, the piggy on the floor? And look, that's okay, right? Because it comes a point where a lot of things we didn't know, right? I'm not gonna sit here and claim that I knew all this. I only knew this for about maybe 4 years max. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we just, we all gotta learn. We all gotta start from somewhere, right? So watch this. This is a commandment because there's more than 10, right? The 10, they encapsulate all the law. It's like an umbrella term, right? There's more underneath what meets the eye. You see what I'm saying? So this is the dietary law, right? You have any allergies? You have any allergies? You say what? Okay, so if I gave you Abilify, right, and you start puffing up and becoming, your throat's getting a little scratchy, you getting rashes all over the place, you might, start throwing up everywhere, right? How would you feel? You'd be like, damn, why did you give me this? You see what I'm saying? Right? It's tearing up your body. Now the Lord said that we're supposed to stay away from specific foods because not only does it tear up our body, but it's also an abomination and it also messes up the cycle of the earth. Right? And I'm going to show you why. Bring this up. It's okay.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. And the swine.
Now this is the dietary law, meaning this is going into the foods that we can and get. The Israelite man, you got to think, it's a beautiful thing to have a set of rules that's catered to you. That'll make you feel like a real king when you can go around and say, look, I don't do that, right? I know better, right? My people, we don't do that. We stay away from that stuff, right? That's a beautiful feeling to feel a part of something that's much bigger than yourself. Right. See what I'm saying? This is something nationwide. If I have to follow this, he has to follow this. Right. If he has to follow that, then I got to follow with him. You see what I'm saying? That's how we build a nation back up from scratch, right? So the Lord is saying, look, and the swine. That means the pig, the hog, the boar. You go to Publix and get you some them Publix sandwiches, and they got that boar's head ham. And you kind of got to tell them, look, man, I don't want none of that coming in my sandwich. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. Let's see what the Lord said about the swine.
Good. Though he divide the hoof.
Right. Because there'd be two. That's exactly what it is. It's two requirements. He got to part the hoof, and he also got to chew the cud. Meaning digest his food a certain way. A lot of animals, they have certain chambers in their stomach to where they regurgitate, and then it helps clean out their system as well, right?
God, he is unclean to you.
So that piggy is unclean to you, man. Right? No more pork on the fork. You see what I'm saying? Right? You go to Waffle House and get that all-star plate, well, you kind of got to tell them, look, I don't want none of that pork. See what I'm saying? Right? The Lord said, look, it's so abominable, we can't do what, huh?
Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
No pork skins, man. A lot of people, they'll go all out and get the pork skins with the hot sauce on it. Right? We can't have none of that. We can't even have the skin. We can't have no parts of that. You got to say, I don't want no parts of that, man.
And their carcass shall ye not touch.
If it dies and you kind of find it on your property and you kind of look, you might have to call somebody to get it off your property, man. Right? The Lord said we can't even touch it if it dies. You see what I'm saying? Now, if it's alive, you can touch it. You go to a petting zoo, ain't nothing wrong with that. Right? You can rub on the pig a little bit, but if it dies, right, you can't touch it. Right? That's what sets the clean from the unclean. Right? The Most High, He's very spiritual. Right? You got to understand, we're a very spiritual people. Right? Even in the church, we believe we're spiritual. But when you read the scriptures for themselves, you got to understand the Lord is doing this for a reason. Right? It's spirits behind all the things that's listed. Right? So the Lord said, don't even come near it and touch it, because you're going to defile yourself and become unclean. See what I'm saying? Exactly. Now you're unclean. Now whatever you touch becomes unclean. Now whoever touches that unclean, it's a cycle. You see what I'm saying? Right? So it continues on. Not only that, but the pig is also unhealthy for us.
That's right.
A lot of our people, whether they be up there in age, I'll say, they got diagnosed with gout, diabetes, high blood pressure. A lot of our people got worms. They don't even know that they, got worms crawling in them, because a lot of this pork has worms. Whatever that pig eats, that's what you eat. If a pig ate, your next door neighbor's cat, and your cat is the cat is on the floor, the pig is tearing up the cat like it's spaghetti. You see what I'm saying? So we have to abstain from this pork because it's bad for our bodies. And the pig, the reason why the pig is put in an environment, the pigs are natural hunters. That's their duty. They hunt, right? They have great sense of smell. That's their ability, right? So they're not meant to be eaten by us, right? These other nations, they can enjoy it as much as they want, but they're going to get judged for that. We get judged for it if we do it, but it's harsh on us because we know better. See what I'm saying? If you, I'll say when you were younger, right? If you got a whooping, right? And you say, well, my friends was doing it too. You're not worried about what his friends did. You're worried about what he did. You see what I'm saying? Right? Your friend, look, don't worry about, that's not my kids. I don't know them, right? I'm worried about you because I want you to grow up properly and be upright. You see what I'm saying? So that's the same way the Most High looks at us, right? Now, I'll ask you this. Have we seen those other planets? Well, I'll put it like this. Give me Galatians chapter 4, verse 26. This is what we're looking for, right? This is the whole reason why we come out here. This is the good news, as they say, the gospel, right? Right? This is what we're looking towards. Because we see ourselves, we in a whole, we say Atlanta, that's my home city. You know, you got a lot of these rappers that's from Atlanta, like T.I., right? Talk about Atlanta all the time, right? Atlanta don't want nothing to do with you. You see what I'm saying? It's bigger than that, right? Let's get Galatians chapter, I believe, 4 and 26, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4 and verse 26.
Bring it out.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
Right? Jerusalem, that's the free land. That's where our bloodline lies at. Just like you said. That's where we from. Right? Israel, Jerusalem is one of the capitals in Israel. Right? So that's where the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man is from. Jerusalem and Samaria. Right? Jerusalem being Southern Kingdom territory, Samaria being the capital of the Northern Kingdom territory. Right? Keep going.
Which is the mother of us all.
AKA the motherland of the Israelites. Right? Our motherland would be Israel. But you see, you got a bunch of fake Jews there that claim to be the Jews, when really the Jews, they don't even rep the tribes, right? The Jews is the Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? God. Yeah. Yep. 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 God. So a lot of these things were set up in this system, in this, I'll say, kingdom or queendom, right? It's set up for us to fail. Why? Because this is not our rest. This is not our rest. Give me Hebrews 13 and 14. And then we'll get that last commandment. What you got? What you put? Yep. Oh, the curse? Okay, come on. We can bring that out first.
This is what you were talking about right here when you just said that how we wonder what be going on with stuff. This is in the Bible, man. So this is what it said. It said, and they, talking about the curses, it says, they shall be upon thee for a sign and or a wonder and upon thy seed forever. So the Most High God saying that we was gonna do that. You just said that we wonder. He said that was gonna happen to his people forever. We was gonna wonder, like, hey, man, why we go through this? What's going on?
Yeah, basically, we just waking up. That's the whole point. Is that was a good reference, man. Hey, the Israelites, and we got amnesia.
That's right.
Right, we waking up from a long slumber, man.
That's right.
Like the Lord literally said, awake out of thy sleep. Right. So we waking up out of that deep sleep that we was put on.
That's right.
All praises. Right. And let's get that last curse. Right. Not curse. I meant commandment. It don't matter what it is. We could get into the Sabbath day.
And then not just that, different levels that everybody wake up to.
Yeah, Khan, you're right.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38.
Bring it out.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
So that would be us, right? The Lord is saying, look, it don't matter what generation they in, everybody got to know, right?
And bid them that they make them fringes and the borders of their garments.
So the word fringe, when you go back and look up the root of that word, it means twisted wool, right? So the Lord said we got to have fringes in the borders of our garments. Now, understanding that, that might not be something you can acquire right away, because it took me a minute to get my fringes. I ain't gonna lie. When I first came into the knowledge, it took me a little while, right? It took me a couple months, right? But however, these things are put upon us for a reason. It's not just cosmetics. No, everything you're gonna find out that everything the Lord does is not just for cosmetics, but it also has a meaning to it, right? Let's get into it.
Make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
Meaning forever, right? Because we gonna always multiply, right? So that means we gotta do this forever, even when the kingdom is here, right?
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Right? And as you can see, you look around, every brother got a ribbon of blue on, right? Now, the blue, that represents royalty, right?
Come, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
Right? And that's the purpose, right? We look on it and remember the commandments, right? You might have, you might be out and about and a very beautiful sister come passing by, and you kind of look down like, dang, I know better than the, kind of do what it do. I ain't got to get into it, right? But I know better than that, right? You might be in Waffle House and you looking at the menu, and then you kind of look down on accident, but you remember, I got my fringes on. My fringes tell me, look, I got to abstain from certain foods. So let me double check this menu, even if I got to call a waiter over and ask them, look, what's in this? Look, is it possible I could substitute this for that? You see what I'm saying? This is a reminder, a daily reminder, a physical reminder that we got to keep the commandments. Now, you might have a reminder on your phone to tell you, look, take the kids to grandma's this morning, pick up the kids from school, right? But this is a physical reminder to keep the commandments. That's right. Just how, we have the cops to remind us that we can't speed. If I was on the road on the interstate and I see that truck, right, on the side, and Siri calls out speed check coming up, right? Speed check, what's she say? Speed check ahead. Right? I know, look, I need to slow down. I'm going 100 miles in a 70-mile zone. You see what I'm saying? And there's cop cars on the side of the road to remind me, look, I can't go past a certain limit. You see what I'm saying? So these fringes are a physical reminder, look, y'all got to do certain things and y'all got to also stay away from certain things. See what I'm saying? Right? So with that, keep going. Hey, keep it going.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them, and that ye shall not look after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring.
So that's basically saying we wear them so that we don't do what we want to do, but we rather remember the things that the Most High told us to do, right?
That ye may remember and do all the commandments and be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God, and I am the Lord your God.
He said it 3 times. He said it 3 times. He said, I'm the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I'm the Lord your God. So he wants you to know that he's your God, that he loves you, and that these things, just how severe these things are to us, right? As you can see, the current state of our people, right? And this is the last commandment I'm going to bring out, right? Bring it out.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 27.
Bring it out.
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Right, now when you go into the word beard, it's very important for our people to understand this. We shall not mar, or we shall not, read that again? I don't want to butcher it.
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads.
Right, so we're not to round the corners of our heads, meaning completely shave our head bald. Because that was a custom that they did in Egypt. You ever seen those Egyptian films? They got the Egyptian wigs on. They'll cut their hair bald because they say hair was nasty. They'll shave everywhere. Be completely bald, right? Arms, legs, ungodly places, right? They'll shave everywhere, right? Because they said the very thought of hair is nasty. But then they'll make a wig, and now it even translates to nowadays. When you see our sisters, they don't, we know how our sisters get down with the weave, the tracks. No, they don't really do tracks no more. They do the full heads, set, right? But they got the glue down edges now. See what I'm saying? Our sisters, they don't wear their natural hair no more. They don't, and that's a custom that we picked up from the Egyptians, right? Wearing fake hair, right? So that's another reminder. Look, we're not supposed to shave our hair bald, right? And a lot of times our men, they might kind of get the bald shaved for a new job. You know, they might kind of go on a date and shave their head bald, right? But that's something we're not supposed to do. Now we could get our hair cut low, ain't nothing wrong with that. Or if you balding, you could cut it to low to make it, you know, kind of blend in seamlessly, but you're not supposed to purposely shave it off. Right, exactly. And it's a little bit more on that.
Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
And that's saying you're not supposed to cut into your natural beard line.
Right.
Now, I'll say it like this. If you could grow it, then show it. You see what I'm saying? Because the beard, especially an Israelite man's beard, is a symbol of or a badge of manlyhood. Right? Yeah, I had a hard time getting that thing out, man. Right? It's a symbol of manly dignity, of manlyhood. Right? You don't have women growing beards. Right? You might have some, but you know, that's a different story, right? that's for a whole other topic, right? But men who can grow their beards, they have, you know, an Israelite man, if you could grow it, then grow it. You know, some of us, you know, depending on what tribe you come from, it might be a little more difficult, right? Some tribes, they don't really grow beards, like the tribe of Gad. They have a harder time. Look, man, I'm in the same boat with you, okay? Like, look, we one day maybe we'll get there, you know. Well, there's still hope. You got brothers in their late 20s, man, that just started growing their beard. You see what I'm saying? I know a brother, he said his beard ain't started growing until he was 26. Was that you? No, that wasn't you. That brother's beard started growing in elementary school, man. God. At 14. You see what I'm saying? So some of us is just late bloomers. But back to the point, you know, you're not supposed to cut into your natural beard line. So you got some styles, they have the chin strap. Don't rock the chin strap, man. We out of the early 2000s, man. Don't rock the chin strap, man. You have to find, you know,
No, I just wanted to say, I see the king right here. You got the beard. Your ass to grow full. Hey, don't it itch, like when you cut, don't it itch up under there?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the reason the Most High, see, the Most High didn't create our skin like everybody else. See, the Caucasians and everybody else, they made the razor for them. They can shave that thing down, never bump up. But we gonna bump up because God didn't create us like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the reason your skin bump up, because your skin is reacting to you doing something against what the Most High God told you don't do. So guess what? You got that beard, you can grow it. Hey, the Most High God said you should grow it, man. Hey, and I ain't gonna lie, when I came into this, I started growing my beard. I thought I wasn't gonna like it. Hey man, but that thing give me some pride, man. Like, hey, when I'm walking around, hey, them sisters, man, they be like, hey, I like that beard, man. It kind of make me want to keep that thing growing.
Everybody be like, yes, sir.
Good. And people kind of stand up when you come around. They kind of stand with their chin. All praises. So that beard, like I said, is a symbol of manly dignity, man. Like when you see nature documentaries, that lion, you differentiate the lion from the lioness by the mane, right? It's out there, it's full. They boast it, man, right? So it's a very good thing for an Israelite man to be able to grow out that beard, to have a beard, but to be able to grow it out, it's a whole other thing, right? And then to rep the commandments and rep the Most High, that's a whole other thing in itself. See what I'm saying? Bring it out.
Hey, this right here what I'm bringing out, talking about how we should love God. Do y'all love God? Y'all know how to love God? How do you love God?
Okay. Now, the definition and I'm glad you brought that out, okay? Right? It's a very simple definition to it, you know. Like I said, you know, love everybody. If I was to ask them, can I ask y'all a question? What does it mean to love? What does it mean to love? Kind of keep walking. Well, you know, I did ask a group of heathen, but if I was to ask anybody, what does it mean to love? They might give me a different answer than Brother Jeremiah, right? They might give me a different answer than Susan over here. So, can I ask y'all a question real quick? What does it mean to love? What is love? Love is what it's all about. See, that is by far, to date, the worst definition I've heard for love. To date. He said that's what it's all about. What does that even mean? right? Let's get it. Let's just read it.
God, this is the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous.
And that's what it means to love the Most High. Just keep his commandments. That's it. Right? With all your heart, your mind, and your soul. If you put your heart into it, the Most High, he gonna send the blessings. Right? But you gotta show the Lord. Love is a verb, it's an action. You gotta show it through your works. You gotta prove it through your works. I can't say I love the Most High and then go murder 7 people and say, well, you know, Lord, you get me out of this situation. That's what our people like to do. Our people are all talk at the end of the day. I know because I'm our people. Right? Our people are all talk at the end of the day. I love God. And then you got sisters that say they love God day and night, and they wearing skirts that go up to here and bras at 12 o'clock in the morning. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, you know, that's what it means to love the Most High. So those commandments are a show that we love the Most High, right? So the brother got some flyers out there for y'all, just so when y'all go home, y'all can kind of catch up on what, you know, recap what was going over today. Yep, you got the YouTube channel on there, you got the email. If y'all got any questions, y'all could definitely reach out, Kings. Right, we love to have y'all out here if y'all live in the area, right? But that's, you know, hey, we Israelites, you know, y'all are more than likely from the tribe of Judah, baby.
That's right.
All praises. Right? Kwam Yeshua. That means Israel rise.
What's your nationality according to the Bible?
Yeah, we gotta ask one more time before y'all dip.
Michael Parsons. Hey, Mikey.
Remember, father side only. And that would be the tribe of all praise. So now you gotta say I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Gad. Bring it out. That's right! Yeah! All praise. That means you're an Israelite from the tribe of Gad. Yeah. Hey, me and you hey, I might be one too, you know. That might kind of be my excuse from now on. God. All praises, Kings. Hey, we love y'all, man. Stay safe, all right? All praises, right? And y'all as well, man. Much love. Yeah. See, 1 minute changed your life, man. God. God. And the brother had to do what he had to do, man. God. He said on camera. All right, y'all stay safe, all right?
All praise.
Kwam Yeshua. Israel rise, man. Like I said, even if they kept walking, the job is done. It's all praise be to the Most High that they did, though, man. Beautiful, beautiful, right? How long I been going? I'm over. brother, hold up, 2. God. So with that, Kwam Yeshua. All praise be to the Most High, right? We are the Israelites who come out here every Shabbat to wake up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel and to bring them back to the marriage, right? Good. Shalom.
Shalom.